Everyone is searching for their path, but what makes it truly yours? The answer isn't always where we expect to find it. Sometimes it hides in broken things, lost dreams, imposed expectations, the fear of choice, or even in pain itself. 5 parables, 5 stories, 1 question. The Connection Artist. In a small workshop on the outskirts of town, an unusual craftsman worked. He didn't create new things, but instead combined broken or discarded objects into astonishing compositions. A dry branch and a shard of mirror became a sculpture that reflected the starlight. An old boot and a fragment of a map transformed into a flower pot, where plants grew into the shapes of continents. People brought him things that had lost their purpose and left with newfound treasures. One day, his apprentice asked, "Master, how did you discover your calling?" "I spent years searching for myself and creating something entirely new," the craftsman replied, "until I realized that my true purpose was to see connections where others saw only scattered fragments. The world doesn't always need something brand new. Sometimes it simply needs a fresh perspective on what already exists." Moral: your purpose may not lie in creating something entirely new, but in recognizing unseen connections between what already exists. Sometimes, this is how the most revolutionary ideas and solutions are born. The Broken Cup. One day, a master of ceramics was holding a tea ceremony when he accidentally broke his most treasured and beloved cup in front of his students. "Repair it," the master said calmly and walked away. The first student carefully glued the pieces back together, trying to hide the cracks as much as possible. The second student used golden lacquer, making the cracks part of an intricate new pattern. The third student ground the fragments into powder, mixed them with fresh clay, and shaped an entirely new cup. When the master returned, he examined their work and asked, "What would you do if your life's path was shattered?" The students remained silent, realizing that the lesson was not about ceramics. Moral: when our dreams and plans fall apart, we can try to restore the past, embrace the changes as part of a new beauty, or completely rebuild our lives. Every path is right if it leads to wholeness. True mastery of life is not in avoiding destruction, but in the art of restoration and transformation. The Gardener and the Seeds. A young gardener inherited a mysterious box filled with unmarked seeds. "What kind of plants will grow from these?" he asked the old master. "Plant them and find out," the master replied. The gardener sowed all the seeds in the same soil and cared for them in the same way. Some withered, others grew weak, but a few bloomed into astonishing flowers. Returning to the master, the gardener admitted his failure. Most of the seeds had not reached their full potential. "You gave them the same soil, water, and sunlight," the master noted. "But different seeds require different conditions. Some need shade, others acidic soil, and some less water." Moral: our purpose is like a unique seed. It will not flourish if we follow someone else's path and rules. Each person must find the right conditions for their own growth. Standard formulas for success and happiness do not work for everyone. What nourishes one soul may stifle another. Wisdom lies in recognizing your own nature and creating the environment where it can fully thrive. The Doors of Choice. A wise teacher led 3 students to an ancient stone wall at the top of a mountain. In the wall there were 3 massive doors, each made of a different type of wood, dark, golden, and light. "Behind each door lies your possible future," the teacher said. The first door revealed a throne room shining with wealth, but the person sitting there was lifeless and empty. Behind the second door was a cozy home, filled with family and warmth, but along with joy, there were also responsibilities. The third door opened to an endless field where an old man worked alone. His face glowed with quiet happiness. When the doors closed, the teacher said, "Now choose." One student stepped toward power, another toward family. The third hesitated, unable to decide. The master smiled. "You can open your own door. The wall is just an illusion we create ourselves. He touched the stone between the doors, and the entire wall disappeared, revealing a vast landscape of mountains, rivers, villages, and cities. "So which door leads to happiness?" the students asked. "All of them, and none of them," the teacher replied. "What matters is not the door you choose or the one you create. It is what you bring with you as you walk through it." Moral: happiness and purpose are not determined by external circumstances, but by our inner perspective and what we contribute to any path we take. The true choice is not between different roads, but in how we walk the road we choose. The Bridge Weaver. In a mountainous land divided by a deep ravine, there lived a master who wove rope bridges. He was so skilled that his bridges lasted for decades, connecting isolated villages and saving many lives. One day, a ruler offered him a prestigious position as a royal bridge maker with great wealth, but the old master refused. "Why refuse?" the ruler asked. "You could teach many your craft." "I did not choose this trade out of love for ropes and knots," the master replied. "My mother was from one village, my father from another. They perished trying to cross the ravine when I was a child. Every bridge I build is a promise that no love will ever again be divided by a chasm, but in your palace I have nothing to connect." Moral: often our deepest calling grows from our deepest wounds. What we do to heal our own pain may become a bridge to meaning for many others. Conclusion: some see meaning where others see chaos. Some find new paths after old ones are shattered. Some can only thrive when they discover the right soil. Some fear choosing, not realizing they can create their own door. Some build bridges, not because they love ropes, but because they know the cost of the abyss. The path is not about where you go, but what you bring with you as you walk it. If this made you think, share your thoughts in the comments. Which parable resonated with you the most? Subscribe for more stories that challenge the way we see the world.